Is the iconic Irohazaka jump actually possible, or is it Initial D's biggest gimmick?
Oh no. No.
Now, don't worry if you're having a bit of deja vu, you're probably not going insane, because this is a question I've already tried and failed to answer on my channel before. Let me give you a quick recap. About 4 months ago, I loaded up Irohazaka in the yellow Mr. 2 and began descending the slope. I didn't initially know which corner the jump was actually performed on, so I firstly needed to go on a recon run to scout out potential corners. This was my first crucial mistake, and I'll tell you why a little bit later. Whoa. It's that editing bloke here, and this part drags on, so I'm just going to just press delete right there, and then let's make a long story short, eh? After hours of attempts over multiple months, I never managed to successfully do a jump. So begrudgingly, I made a video stating that the Irohazaka jump was in fact a humongous gimmick. I then posted the video and it quickly became one of my most viewed videos ever, so thanks if you supported it. But almost as quickly as I uploaded it, I started receiving comments. As others have already said, source material literally states what corner is Right, I get it. Christ. I knew what I had to do now, and I knew the mission to complete the jump was still on. Maybe, if I used the right corner, it would actually be possible. After all of my previous tries with this technique, I could finally see the light. So I loaded into Irohazaka, hopefully for the final time. I pulled the dust cover off of the old Mr. 2 and travelled down the treacherous trail, teeming with tension. For if I knew that I couldn't do the jump, I wouldn't have a video to post this week. As I made my way down the slopes, I started counting up the hairpins. 1, 2, 3, 4, you get the idea. It had been a long time since I drove the dangerous Mr. 2 at this point, and I kind of forgot about the thing that this car is known for: disgustingly bad oversteer. This wasn't a good sign, for if I could have warmed up to the car before I attempted the jump, I was in for a bad ride, and with a bit of struggle, I had finally made it to hairpin number 3. I meant hairpin number 33, obviously. Surprisingly, I recognised this area of the Touge from my previous video. It's the hairpin just past this shrine, for anyone wondering, and I had the feeling that whatever religion it was an aid for, I'd been needing this help for this challenge. The hairpin following this section was hairpin 33, and I had actually shortlisted it for a possible hairpin in my original video. I was going to attempt the jump on this one, but there was actually this light pole slap bang in the middle of where you were supposed to jump off of. So I dismissed this one altogether. But thankfully for us, this is Assetto Corsa and poles do not have physics. But remember how I said that the Mr. 2 is famous for disgusting oversteer? Well, if you're one of the 20% of my viewers that are actually subscribed, you'll know that for the last few weeks I've only been driving all-wheel drive cars, and this doesn't bode well for this challenge. After getting used to all-wheel drive, the MR2 is possibly the worst car to drive. It's basically just a pendulum when you're at the limit of grip. And this is what caused the first batch of my butchered bashes at the Irohazaka jump. The run up for this corner is particularly long relative to the rest of the Touge, and you can pick up some pretty serious speed for the size of the road. And just before the hairpin, there is a kink. Not my kink, but a kink in the road. So whilst trying to set yourself up for an almost 180-degree turn whilst travelling at over 60 miles per hour, and getting past this kink is going to take some getting used to. Even when I did get the setup right and managed to hurtle around this tight road in a very unstable car, I did make some very foolish mistakes. Like leaving the car in neutral, which just left me sitting there making some revolutions and wondering why I'm not going anywhere. Not only this, but due to my wheelbase slowly dying and my force feedback not totally working, I also left some steering lock on before the jump, which just sent me veering off to either side and once again wondering why I'm not jumping. And due to the high speed of approach on hairpin 33, it was almost hard to slow down enough when travelling particularly fast, which just sent me around the hairpin as usual. Although it wasn't all bad, as this had actually happened in my previous attempts in the original video, and it jogged my memory. It entailed drifting the previous hairpin and holding off the transition all the way until it was time to do the jump. At that point, you rip the handbrake and let weight transfer put in the work. Remember the shrine from earlier? It may finally be coming in handy. And now I knew it was just a numbers game. I had the method and I probably have the skill. I know I can do the Irohazaka jump. So up and down this short section of road I went, attempting it over and over and over. Until finally, I did something pretty spectacular. I came flying down the road leading up to the hairpin at 70 miles per hour, which is kind of ludicrous speed on a Touge like this. And to match my balls to the wall speed, I decided to initiate a drift using a Scandinavian flick, way before the hairpin and even that kink in the road. And so, try not to lose the back end of the rear weighted MR2, I came sliding around the bend. I had an incredible amount of drift angle, and was counter steering so much that I was a hair away from full lock. Almost in slow motion, I saw the guardrail coming ever closer, so I decided to get back on the throttle to try and nudge the car away from it. But my attempt at avoiding the guardrail was futile. I actually felt contact, and I thought this run was over, and that the car would be pinged around like a pinball in true Assetto Corsa fashion. So, as a last ditch effort in an attempt to save the attempt, I turned the wheel full lock and ripped the handbrake. The car was almost set up perfectly, but in my haste to launch it, I did leave some steering angle on once again. So after letting out the clutch and launching towards the jump, I swiftly unravelled the steering wheel, only narrowly missing the guardrail, and sent it over the edge. However, there was an issue. The Mr. 2 kind of just flopped down the embankment. This was a little bit disappointing, as I was hoping to get at least a fraction of a second of airtime, but I completed the Irohazaka jump nonetheless. So the Irohazaka jump may actually be possible on hairpins, and if you like hairpins, you should probably check out this video in which I show you the Touge with some of the best hairpins I have ever seen. You don't want to miss out on it.